This is Trekland HQ, I believe, yes. And we are live. A question of Star Trek holes and the holder. Today on Trekland Tuesdays live number 335. Yes. With me, Dr. Trek Larry Nemechek, coming at you from the heart of Trekland through Portal 47 and Trekland Treks for some sanity, clarity, and the big picture in all things Star Trek. Hey, welcome once again. Welcome back to another Tuesday here live in Trekland HQ. I say that. Maybe you're watching us later on YouTube. That's awesome. Make sure and leave a comment below. But hey, if you'd been here live at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and yes, 9 p.m. Central Europe, or no, UK time and 10 Central Europe, you could have been part of our incredible community here, which you could probably see the chat in the full live edition. But jump in here if you're watching later, because got a far-reaching topic today, okay? We've also got some breaking news, so hold on. I will say that if you are new, let me just introduce you to our wonderful chat audience if you are live with us, because they're all over the world. Just as surely as the later YouTube is going to reach all over the world. Jump in, say hello. Let us know where you're from. I will get back full bore to the chat in a second. I'm going to be talking about today's theme, and then we'll take a mini break, and then I will dive into the chat at that point. And just a reminder that if you're on YouTube or even Twitch, you're seeing all the comments. If you're only on Facebook, you're only seeing the Facebook comments. So come on over to YouTube, which of course is where you can take advantage of the super chat feature. And if I see somebody actually plinking down some silver, some Federation credits for a question, I will be sure and make a beeline there. All right. Okay. No, we do have some breaking news today. This is awesome. We have some breaking news. Well, happy holiday season, everybody. And I'm just going to say this real quick. If you are looking for a great gift for somebody on your Trek Christmas gift list, we've brought it back. It's so popular. It's the little gift box with Trek for the tree. It's the experience you can put in a box under the tree. It's our Trekland Treks. Da, da, da. Yeah, it's the 6-month deal, 5 for 6 with some bonus features. You save, was it 25 bucks, 25, 50%, something. You save some money if you do this deal. It's at our page. It's learnandcheck.com/Holly23, HOLI23. But the links are there at the Facebook, at the homepage. There's also, if you want to do a full year, if you're feeling very generous, you can do the full year and save 2 months for 10 and get some freebies. And you know, there's no law against taking care of yourself as well. Anyway, it's the most popular gift item we've ever offered. That's why it's kind of cute. You get your own little box. All right. That's what's going on the holiday Trekland in HQ here right now. But what's happening today is some breaking news. For one thing, today's the last day of the SAG-AFTRA members, you know, the actors, union members, voting on their contract. And there's been a lot of controversy about the AI not going far enough. Some of those provisions. People are in love with the restoration to fit the modern streaming world of a lot of the money issues and the respect and the formulas and the nomenclature that were created to deal with the streaming world, even as the streamers don't quite know what the streaming world is. What's really generated controversy is whether the AI provisions generated some protections for now in the immediate future, or whether they gave the farm away by kind of specifying things. And folks who would say, well, if we turn it down, we go back to no protections. Some people are saying a clean slate would be a good deal. And it's very contentious. And today's the last day for voting. We will see what that does. People are even debating what it means if it turns down. Do they go back to the 2020 agreement with nothing? And of course, they lose all the money issues. And you start over again? Can you accept part of the contract with the money issues and just renegotiate the AI? I keep seeing people saying no. Some people saying no, we can mutually agree to do it. Whether the producers, including the streamers, the high-tech producers, would even want to go back and revisit that and they'd see it as a win, it's a little muddled. But today's the last day of voting. We will see what's going on. But even more breaking news is this was just a couple hours ago. The Critics' Choice Awards, which no, it's not the Emmys, but it's one of the prestigious groups. 3 Star Trek quality nominations. Yeah. So, Best Dramatic Series nominee, television, Strange New Worlds. Best TV Animation Series, Lower Decks. Haven't even had time to do congratulations social posts yet. And supporting actress in a TV drama, Celia Rose Gooding, playing Uhura in Strange New Worlds. So congrats all of there. I'm not sure right off when the awards are. They'll be in the next 2-3 months, I'm sure. But those are the nominees. And we will see what happens with the winners, all right? No, but some of you I'm sure some of you are here for this intriguing title today. A question of Star Trek holes and holders. And I know. Is vague titling a thing? Because until today's news and calendar date, I was looking at some of the recent news being the news that came out of WinterCon in New York City. WinterCon, where'd that come from? The first convention I ever went to was called WinterCon, but that was the Oklahoma Association of Fandom with a 2-day mini-con in Oklahoma City that included old-time radio and Western nostalgia and comic books and yeah. Not quite the same WinterCon, but this WinterCon included among the Trek guests Celia Rose Gooding. This included Michelle. No, they were in Brazil. Down in Brazil, another industry trade show where Michelle Paradis and Sonequa Martin Green were promoting, yes, the last season, upcoming season of Discovery. And we got a time frame kind of, sort of. Because as you know, with the strike and the delays, we're looking at not a whole lot for 2024. What we do know is an April time frame for this premiere of the last 10-episode season, the 5th season of Discovery, which I keep hearing might be the series' best yet, which, of course, would be nothing new to Star Trek. Hello, Enterprise. We'll see. Oh, okay. Strange or Deep Space Nine. Cool. April. One of the question marks is we're not having Fresh Trek every week, 50 weeks out of 52. So we've got, what do we have? We have Discovery's final, which is done, ready to go, held back even until now, April. Then we've got Strange New Worlds, delayed by strike, is filming. We'll see what that looks like. We've got, Lower Decks will be done. And of course, Prodigy is out there, but it's on Netflix. So let's just see what that means. So if Disco is in April, we don't know, early April, late April, but 10 weeks, that means early April would go to mid-June. Late April would go to late June. So we'd have an April, May, June window for Discovery. Then, unless, Lower Decks is delayed for spacing, Lower Decks typically goes mid-August, right about the time of Trek Vegas, or just a little after. It's usually mid-August through early September. Okay, early October. Again, 10 weeks, right? So that would be April, May, June, then a month off. 2 months off, mid-June to mid-August, and then Lower Decks, August, September, October. There's that. Now, Strange New Worlds new season probably won't be done. Strange New has run, typically, they've gone May to July, the first 2 seasons in that window. May, July the first year, and then June through mid-August, second season. But the strike was a 6-month delay, 5-month delay. And there's probably buffer time in there. But they had not, and to my knowledge, we haven't seen a startup film date yet, although they were ready to go, raring to go. Now we've got Section 31 filming as a movie. And we've had that confirmation that the end of January through March-ish window. Here's the thing. Would they be ready to go, turn around if first unit live action is those early months, would it be ready to go as an end of the year holiday special? Not holiday, but you know what I mean. As a nice bow at the end of the year. If you've got Lower Decks April, May, June, and you've got, I'm sorry, if you got Discovery April, May, June, and you've got Lower Decks August, September-ish, October, would Section 31 be ready for totally end of the calendar year, or would it be bumped into the next year? Because then the next year you wouldn't have Discovery to kick around. You would probably have, would you have Strange New Worlds by its typical time, but a year removed? Remember, we were talking about this. A year and a half to 2 years delay on this bloomin' cliffhanger. But 2024 is looking like no live action until April. And that might be it, unless the 31 movie can be edged in, can be tucked in at the end. Now you've got Lower Decks, late summer, apparently unaffected by strike. And what's that other wild card? Oh, yes. Good old Prodigy, which, hey, back on day, but season 1, back on the publicly searchable airways of streamways, Christmas Day. Yeah. What is it? 20 days away. 20 days till Prodigy is back for public eyeballs. And then still no disclosure about when season 2 comes to Netflix sometime next year. Here's the thing. The writers' rooms, the producing end of the franchise of Star Trek will continue to be coordinated. I've heard that. I've heard that privately from the Hagemans, from Aaron Walke, and that's been the public pronouncement. However, the in-house production and distribution are two different critters. What I've heard from a couple of places is that Netflix probably does not care what the rest of Star Trek is, what Paramount Plus is doing with the rest of Star Trek. Will they counter? Will they? I mean, I would think as a human that they would think it would be great to start it in a whole. If Discovery doesn't start till April, they've got 10 weeks. Should they start Prodigy on Netflix season 2 in February and clear that? Should they wait and run it in June, July to clear that? I mean, just to have the Star Trek spotlight for Fresh Trek all to themselves? Or will they totally not care? Does it not suit their business model at all to not care what those other guys are doing? Hey, it's ours now, and we will see fit based on other factors that we're dealing with. Interesting question. I hope that they have it in that window. For one thing, the sooner they run it and gauge the reaction, the sooner we may have a decision on season 3. Does running Prodigy season 2 earlier help or hinder that? I don't know. Who knows what the streamers are doing anyway? What I am excited for, I was excited to have Prodigy on Nickelodeon at the beginning, co-producer Nickelodeon, just to get it off the more obscure paid channel, Paramount Plus, and have it where more eyeballs are going to see it, because Nick is viewed much more widely than Paramount Plus. What didn't think about was that it was going to be mostly linear Nickelodeon. And I know for a time it was, and then to have the stricture of a 7th-month delay, I understand. So once Paramount Plus premieres it, and this was not the original plan, but within a few, when the merger happened, when the Paramount Global remerger happened, the remarriage happened between CBS and Paramount, the deal was changed when it trickled down to Prodigy and its co-partner producing studio Nickelodeon. There's the producer and there's the distributor. Again, don't confuse them. It's like when UPN wanted to cancel Enterprise, but Paramount TV Studio was happy to keep making them, and in fact made the deal that allowed it to keep going one more year. So producer, creator, distributor, different thing. What's going to happen here? I hope that they run it early on. Will that be enough of a gauge to greenlight a season 3? Well, I hope so. But on Nickelodeon, remember, it was on a linear stream only, had to wait 7 months by stricture with Paramount's contract. They had to wait 7 months, and then they chose to only have it linear. 8 o'clock on Friday nights, it's like the old death knell for the original series. I'm just hoping that on Netflix, the linear thing won't be an issue, because it isn't, and it'll be downloadable. It'll be streamable at any time, day or night, just like everything else is. So let's hope that the numbers look better for Prodigy then. As far as getting out to eyeballs, let's hope this multiple eyeball project, broader scope, works better than the last one, which turned out to be not so broad after all. But there you go. That's 2024. Discovery, pretty much in April, May, June, some random, unless something radically changes. Lower Decks, not live action, but Lower Decks, lovely Lower Decks, August, September, October, if it stays true to form. Maybe the movie by Section 31 by the end of the year, if not into 2025. And Prodigy Season 2 is a random canon, but maybe they'll have it before Discovery. It's done. I've been told that the last episodes will be physically completed by January. So getting in ahead of the Discovery on another network, as they used to say, would be no big deal. And then, of course, you're into 2025. No one expected Starfleet Academy to be ready for us for delivery until 2025. The strike has delayed that, but the further ahead in the future, the easier it is to buffer that delay, right? Then you're talking about the season after for Strange New Worlds being a little delayed, but we'll see. We'll see about them picking up the slack. If they're back, they could turn around and get right into it, as they did with Picard. But that leaves you with 2 live-action series. Whether or not Section 31A is received well, it's a happy experience for the studio, much less for the audience. And then B, if there's a decision made to greenlight that, if people agree that it would be a good thing. Yeah, I know you got Legacy out here waiting in the wings, but of course, what's hanging over all of this is, okay, the streaming industry itself, which we just had the Band-Aid ripped off. The truth was told about how shaky a lot of the model is with the strikes, much less the pandemic. No, the pandemic. Pandemic gave a false sense of profit. The strikes have laid bare just what does the business model look like? I'm no expert, but I can tell that there may not be any experts at all, or a lot of questions out there. So that's a thing, but take it down from there. Micromanage the streaming industry down to our network of choice. This is what I mean by questions for the holes in schedule, but the holders, because I've keep hearing industry chatter, and no, not that I'm an MBA paying attention to all the Hollywood bean counters constantly, but, and thank you to Aaron Walke for turning me on to this, there's some industry, right, podcasts, blogs, that kind of thing. There is an industry podcast called The Town with Matthew Baloney recently. The November 27th, just a half-hour podcast. No, it's an hour podcast. No, it's half hour. Anyway, listen to it. There's increasing speculation because the value of, yes, the remerged Paramount Global is all over the place. Look, guys, we talk about streaming. Cable is on a slow death spiral because people left cable for the less tech, the less overhead of streaming. Now, streaming's still being figured out, but cable is on a long spiral down. People say the same thing about the old network model, right? Terrestrial network commercial model. Is Data's line correct about TV's demise this century? We'll see. And exactly what he defined TV as. Did he mean network with commercials? Did he mean streaming? Did he mean cable? What did data mean? I guess we need to do a little data mining to find out. But there's a lot of speculation that the value, Sherry Redstone held onto the company, right? Has fought off all these challenges. They got the thing remerged. Stupid mistake with the split in 05-06. The Viacom divorce, but now Paramount Global is back with the homier, warmer brand. And what's the assets? Well, Paramount Pictures, the movie studio, Paramount TV, the franchises it holds, starting with our little baby Star Trek, but also Fast and Furious and several more. Transformers, of course, the Taylor Sheridan shows now, if they hold up over time. But there's also the cable channels. These guys are discussing on this podcast, discussing the relative assets and value, and you get into a lot of high-end finance. You get a lot of high-end Hollywood finance. A lot of what was exposed in the strikes, of course, of not knowing exactly what was going to be the future of streaming. But on top of that, of all the streaming players, Paramount Plus is not in the strongest position. Paramount Global with its streaming arm. But in this case, we're not just talking about the streaming. We're talking about the whole company. Talking about it might even be ripe for buyout or whatever makes the most sense financially to the world out there. Who would want it? It's just interesting. The Town podcast, if you want to give a listen. But looking at who might buy Paramount Global, or whether Paramount Global sells off little bits and pieces. There was a recent buy on or purchase attempt on BET, good old Black Entertainment Television, which among all the VH1 and good old MTV, apparently nobody wants their MTV since they ruined the brand. No music on Music TV anymore, barely. All those channels. Black Entertainment TV, BET is the one that still has a brand, as this podcast was arguing, and could be sold off to whatever the format needs. But BET as a brand still means something. MTV, and especially VH1, and go down the list, don't mean a lot. What are the other? I mean, Paramount Global just sold off Simon & Schuster, right? It's no longer part of the Trek family. What that even means for the Star Trek licensing book line, the times they are changing, much less what happens if there are any. Paramount also recently redid their upper level executives contracts to include a golden parachute bailout in case a big, whenever the merger happens, whoever the little dog is, that layer, if you got 2 layers of financials, 2 layers of promotion, 2 layers of this, that, the duplication, the little guy usually wins out unless there's somebody really, really powerful in charge there. And the big dogs, the buyout side is maybe weak or not as interested or whatever. But those folks on the smaller side would be looking to have some kind of an escape hatch. In the corporate world, I'm told this is what the big money folks do. But that was just done. So is that anticipating something on the table now that we don't know about? Like I know, like I'm following this. But to hear the smart people who do follow it talk about it. Or would it be continuing selling off a bit at a time? Now, BET wasn't sold off, but that doesn't preclude something happening. They didn't like that. They thought it was undervalued. Anyway, this has all been going on while we've just been enjoying our trek and trying to get over a pandemic. Wanting the world to straighten out between the wars and the supply chains and get inflation back. While we've all been going about our little daily lives, this is what's been going on in high value. But it's happening all around as the overall media world restructures and uplifts and reshape. Even Warner Brothers and Discovery and Comcast is NBC. Are those predators? Would the regulatory system allow the owners of NBC to buy CBS? Of course, CBS is a big asset in this too. The old terrestrial network, CBS. What's funny is everybody talks about the football, and I'm sorry, I'm getting away from Star Trek here, but it's going to affect our Star Trek. The football deal package CBS had is like a major value. It's when you put your head into this realm, it's fascinating. It's a headache. I wouldn't want to live there every day, but to consider these things that are a real play, because the bottom line here is we're talking about the holes in Star Trek schedule in 24. What's going to get greenlit? Will Section 31 become a live action series? Will there be 3 live action series or only 2? Does that mean how long Legacy has to wait? If indeed anybody cares about Legacy. Because if Patrick Stewart, if Sir Patrick is not, if it's not 2018, 2019, and if Sir Patrick is not part of the main players, then a Legacy show will be filmed in Toronto. Between the cost factor, it's a 4th, it's a 5th the cost to shoot in LA. Sadly, somebody ought to do something about that. But they're coming back to Toronto. So your Legacy series would be in Toronto. I don't know why it wouldn't. But would it even happen at all? Would there be something else in the wings by then? What will the bosses of our bosses say about a 3rd Star Trek? Who will be judging the overall future of the franchise? Those folks that back in the day Well, Gene Roddenberry and Herb Solow had to fight. But yeah, those gals that Rick Berman had to fight against having the boy band in the mess hall in the Enterprise every week. That Uber level, what will they say? What will they hand down? So we're talking about the holes in schedule in 2024. What will the holders of Star Trek be saying in 2025? In 2026? Much less, who will that even be? And my God, if we get back to the point where the TV studio assets go one direction and the movie assets go another somehow, and promotion, much less licensing, is divvied up, and if we have to go through a divorce between Star Trek's TV legacy and the movie legacy again, what a freaking nightmare that was to jump through those hoops, to the point where you couldn't even do a documentary from the studio about Spock and include TV and movie footage at the same time. How insane. But that's lingering out there on the horizon. So yeah, let's watch how the actor's contract comes down. Let's by all means, let's watch these awards, how they proceed to the finalists and the announcements. But sometime in the next year or two, it could be that Paramount Global is totally bought out by a new owner. And they'd be smart to keep the Paramount brand name around. But would that only be for movies? Would the TV holdings, would the catalog, much less anything new, just be absorbed by Comcast or even Warner Discovery, or a third one that we've never mentioned? It's just that Paramount's what Sherry does with the stock price, because it's declined. It's down to like 18 a share, the guys were mentioning. They want it to be at 40, as was mentioned. Good luck with that. These are all kind of the things that are swirling around. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. What do you think? I don't know if we've got anybody keeping their ear to the ground in the industry more than I was just detailing. Here's one thing that's happening, and if you caught this just the other day, to put a kind of a pin on this for now, in the meantime, Paramount Plus isn't the only streamer that is not cleaning up. I mean, Netflix and Prime are in kind of a shock wave with everything that's been exposed by the pandemic, and now coming down from the sugar high of the pandemic, going through the filter of the strikes as this whole streaming model sorts out. But you might see this returning from the days of peak TV and everybody had to have their own studio. Did you see this just a couple of days ago? Apple and Paramount Plus are discussing bundling their streaming services just as a deal. You still get Apple TV streaming. You can still get Paramount Plus, but they might do a co-op deal where if you buy them together, it's cheaper than if you bought them separately. Because Apple is another one that is limping along, is outside of, well, For All Mankind is awesome. But I don't know that I could tell you another show on Apple right now. And I know there's one or two good ones, at least. I'm off the top of my head. I'm not familiar with it. If I looked at the channel, I'd go, oh yeah, that one. Or a show that identifying it with Apple, enough to go subscribe to Apple. Paramount Plus, I feel like, is not in that boat. They've got Star Trek. They've got residual Taylor Sheridan shows. They've got the whole huge catalog of branded Star Trek, of branded Paramount movies and TV shows. But that's the thing. It's not a done deal. They're talking, and they let it be known in the press that Apple and Paramount are discussing this mutual bundle co-op deal. Is there more of that? Is that a way of staving off their smallness? Is that a way of being, protecting themselves against the herd at large, against all the bigger players? And there's other smaller players too out there, because it used to be that movies when Desilu was bought by Paramount, it was the great era of movie studios stopped fearing and fighting TV and joining the club, right? If you can't beat them, join them. And so overnight, it went from doing all you could to put down TV to running around and gobbling up, and all those early day TV producers, right? This has been a Scream Gems presentation, darling. All those little TV studios got gobbled up and absorbed into all the movie studios. And that's when, yes, Paramount, boom, did a Just Add Water instant mix and had a TV studio by buying Desilu. What a coincidence. It was right there, tear down the wall, and it was physically right next door. What a help that was. That's all happening right now. This is the 2023-2024 edition of that kind of shakedown and quantum change. Does a movie studio still provide a lot of asset? It's the future, and it's also the back catalog. Paramount already sold off its back catalog. The the Bob Hope and Bing Crosby road movies, all of that era aren't even owned by Paramount anymore. So, as we sit here and talk about No Fresh Trek, and we talk about the calendar for the next year, that could be what's really going to determine things even beyond here as we gear up again to whatever the hell that looks like. That's what's going to be driving that wheel. Meanwhile, here we are. Here we are with the holidays, trying to enjoy our trek, maybe get a breather, maybe do a little reflection. And I'm so glad that you're with me here again on Tuesday, or watching later once again. All righty. What do you think? I'll be looking forward to what you comment later on YouTube, or what you're going to say right now in the chat, if not already. Is there some other angle to this that I'm leaving out? Let me know. All right. Once again, it is the holiday season. And if you want to give an experience to somebody under the tree, that's what I love about this. It's a Portal 47 membership, a 6-month membership for the cost of $5, plus the little gift box, plus, while the supplies last, the last little gift card from Gene Roddenberry from the holidays of 1990, sent out with orders from Lincoln Enterprise that year. Still have a few of those left. And of course, the member pin and all that cool stuff. If you want to give the gift that you can hand. Now, the delivery, even if we do priority mail, the deadline on this is the 20th. So jump on it if you want to. And if you've got a real friend in need, boom, there's a like deal for the whole year too. Okay. With all the stuff. Just go to my homepage. You'll find the way to get to it. LarryNemechek.com. And there that is. But of course, everything we're doing right at the moment is thank you to our Patreons, our TTL Club. So once again, thank you, Diana Hopkins, Robin Wilson, Lawrence Todd, Anne-Marie Siegel, Justin Porteous, Galinda Bruton, Chris Jiggins, Pranakasha Productions, Comedy Forecast, and Andrew Jazimski. And thanks to our live wires. The next tier up, Robert McLean, Byron Bailey, J.R. Paul Hubbard, Gun Johnson, Alan Hoenzi, Dave Gregory, Tobias Rex, Damon S. Runyon. Damon S. Runyon. I knew I was going to do that one week. Donna, do you ever get introduced as Damon Runyon? I'm sorry. And of course, Casey Shafsky too. Hey, everybody, you could submit a famous name too, and I'd never know it. If you want to jump in, where were we? Midway through we just started a new month. I just got the November allotment. So thanks, everybody. It's a $5, $10, very simple Patreon at patreon.com/Trekland Live. And if you've been with me the last 2 or 3 years, you know we've been slowly growing the reach of broadcast Trekland. So thanks a lot for doing that. It is the holiday season, and if you're on the travel or looking into the new year and want to stretch your legs, you're coming to LA, you need to set up your own custom away mission. You need to have your breath taken away and visit the sites for real. Not the stages back east at the Star Trek Tour licensed tour place, but outdoors, in public or semi-public, right? And as we say at the panel, it's a lot beyond Vasquez. Anyway, get in touch with me, LarryNemechek.com, TreklandTreks.com if you want to go directly there. Check it out. Read about it. We had a special tied up with our open house deal. Those come along every once in a while, but check out and see what it's all about. All right. Thanks a lot. And of course, if it's Tuesday, it must be another day for the Trek Files. We're in our 11th season. You can check it out at facebook.com/The Trek Files. Or podcast.roddenberry.com, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. You can get the documents of the week. And you want to see these. You want to see this week's. We've got Considered but rejected pitches to the animated series here on its 50th anniversary, still celebrating that. And my guest, first time on the show, he's a legit author now. So he's not just a great artist and a great fan friend, but legit author, co-author of the animated series Guide. Aaron Harvey is my guest this week, and we look at some of these rejected pitches from the animated series early on, March of 73, before the world at large knew about it. Check it out. It's this week's The Trek Files. And yeah, if you're leaving us now on YouTube, kids, hey, it's Larry Nemechek on Twitter X. I know. Trekland on, please like and subscribe here on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I think Instagram's kind of my go-to social of choice these days. If there's anything to it past a few words, right? Portal47.net. Please go look there and check out the program, and you can still find the gift offer from the Portal page too. All right. Hey, everybody. Hang on. If you're with me live, I'm going to take just a quick break and be right back. But if you are leaving us at the moment, if you're watching on YouTube later, please try to check us out when we are live. But leave a comment below. And regardless, till next time, stay healthy. Do all the things. It's a real mulligan stew out there. Take care of yourself. There's a vaccination for everything. You don't need the annoyance. And we still are finding out about residual COVID, and people are still getting COVID. So the vaccination helps a lot. It's annoying now, not deadly, but better to do all you can. Oh, and stay woke. Check your sources, because it's going to get weird. It already is, and it's going to get weirder as we get into next year. You know, just trek well, everybody. Okay. As I back scroll, I'm going to see if I see any super chat questions. I guess I'm going to get this routine down after all. All righty. I'm just too loosey-goosey. I know. Okay. Let's see who all's up. See who's here from around the world. Hey, Alan, our newest Portal 47 member, who needs to get me a photo so I can get you on the page. Let's see. Okay, Mona. Well, I have probably missed you, Mona, but it was great to see you in Indianapolis. Let's see. Comedy 4, you are here. Huzzah. Well, let's see, JR, if we have any folks from around the world. Hey, Halbjorn, thanks again for being a Patreon. Comedy 4, any idea why they still haven't given a date? It almost feels like the CCXP, that was the Brazilian announcement, was an add-on for the con. Yeah, I'm not sure what the thing about, if you're going to say April, but they've done this in the past. They've announced months for some of the various shows. Maybe there's still some last minute tech or legality that's got to be straightened out. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine them getting away from the Thursday download, like the Thursday drop day. That's been day one domestic, and then the rest of the world came over to Thursday. So I have to think it's going to be a Thursday in April. And if it changes after all this time, that will be interesting and fascinating to know. Hey, yeah, you're fascinated to see some moopsies. The merch situation, I do not know. Part of this is, it's not just licensing stands up and says, okay, everybody, here's the toy rights. There has to be a transaction, which means there has to be another party, which means somebody has to be interested. We all get it. But part of the thing about getting Prodigy out beyond Paramount Plus, getting Prodigy to, Yes, Netflix now. Part of the whole thing about Paramount Plus being it's growing. It might be the number 3 streaming channel after everybody else has merged and become megaized, but it's still a matter of numbers and dollars. And toy companies or other makers that have existing franchise, they've got existing audiences. Are they convinced that investing in Star Trek is going to be an ROI for them? Or does the tier 2 company or the tier 3 company, where down the line does Paramount finally find somebody interested to make a deal? I mean, I kid. The only reason that I could ever figure out that Star Wars became bigger than Star Trek, not based on the amount of hours and content or the staying power, but because the toys. It's a joke line, but it's like Lucas was smart to keep the money end of it. Maybe he kept it away from the committees and the changing over, the guard from decade to decade. But whatever else it is, the original Kenner deal, and I sound like such an expert, that's laid the groundwork. And we have been so missing that simple feeling, that simple feeling, because it grows. It's been 40 years, 50 years we could have had people. And, people are we are so sentimental about the Spock helmet, and we're so sentimental about the AMT model kit and some of the early successes in licensing. Okay, the model kit more so than the Spock helmet. But, if we factor that times 100 is where Star Wars is standing. So we didn't, we had the Playmates figures in the 90s, but, then what? What after that? I don't know. So yeah, I had Moopsies 3D printed for me. I've got a great Moop. In fact, you know what? Moopsie's going to be a mascot. Next week, look for Moopsie as we finally get into holiday gear next week. It's holiday spirit. I have a Moopsie on the set. Thank you. I'm going to make sure I know who gave him to me. Moopsie and some spare teeth. But that's 3D printing. That's, it's Etsy. Of course they want to make money. Of course they want to have residual fee money as a license fee to some legit maker. But nobody is thrilled with the situation. Why are there no more Murph toys? Why was Hollow Janeway and Rock Talk canceled? Because the deliveries didn't match what the expectation was. And look what was going on. Prodigy was about to head into this whirlwind of disappearing from public eyes. You couldn't go tell somebody, I love this show. Here's how to watch it. If it's going to be, I don't know, 1998 again and come over and watch my DVDs. No, not 98. If it's going to be 2008, come over and watch my DVDs. I'll show you this show. That's not the way it is. Yeah. So we have questions. Why not a date for Discovery? Why not more toys? Oh, Sean. Yeah, this is what we got into. So good setup there. I was ready to talk about that. At least as a baby step toward what the ultimate solution for the financial structure, what the business model is going to be, right? What is this? Okay. All right. This is replaced and your firstborn child, right? Okay. Well, thank you for the dedication, Sean. What now? What analysis? Just now going in the acting a few weeks about it now. I'll just say it thinks. Well, I missed this. What? Long live the term minicon. Hey, Aldine. Yeah, minicon's been. Did minicon go away? Was it in danger of disappearing? Portal 47 is a minicon all year long. But I know the minicon format's great. Hey, here's one. How about Relaxicon? Yeah, there's your great old fandom term. It's what all the Smoffs used to do. Secret masters of fandom. What's amazing to me is that still exists. That level of fandom still exists. Bundling looks like it's a new concept. Netflix and Max, yes, indeed. Now, again, they're not talking about merging the companies. They're just talking about offering their products in a joint deal. They're just talking about a joint subscription. Same kind of thing when you see individual channels go pay to be in that row on Prime. And a lot of people used to swear in the early days that it was better to watch the CBS All Access Star Treks, watching it on the Prime platform than going over to the actual CBS All Access app. Oh, hey, Christoph, actual question. Back when TOS started, was the Hollywood industry and or Gene aware of TV shows in, say, Europe like Doctor Who? Oh, I know where you're going with this. I'm largely going to say maybe at the hugest. Because one thing is, look and see how many of those ITV, like the Avengers, got syndicated over here. Okay, number one, if it wasn't English speaking, forget about it. And number two, we occasionally would get syndicated series over here, but it had to be like cream of the crop or something really, really specific. And I want to say, it was Monty Python. I want to say this. There may have been some before, but I think it was Monty Python's Flying Circus that was the first British show brought over on the PBS model, because PBS had only been around 2 or 3 years. And National Educational Television, NET, wasn't going to be bringing over absurdist, slightly off-color comedy shows for late-night viewing. They all shut down by 5 or 6. So, being aware of only the top cream of the crop, and I'm looking at the Avengers. I'm sure there were 2 or 3 more. Doctor Who was a kids' show. I know what you're saying, because part of me would say, isn't Assignment Earth with an advanced being and a companion who's from the current world running around fixing things, whether it's in time or all at the same time frame? Isn't that just a ripoff of Doctor Who mostly? And it probably is, but I really think the case that could be made was they had no clue. They had no clue. Nobody spent time in the UK. Did anybody have UK connections where their kids were raving about this show in the UK? I don't think so. I think we were we weren't global. We didn't have the internet. It was a big deal to be aware of things happening in other countries beyond the political level. Just the pop culture of individual countries, even other English-speaking countries, was still a big deal. That's another one of the 42 reasons why the Beatles were such a big deal. The British invasion got its own term. It was a thing. So I'm going to say probably not Gene, and maybe some people in the industry whose job it was to keep an eye. 3 or 4 people on British shows that might be usable over here for whatever reason. But there was a lot of, I don't want to say arrogance, but a lot of why would we want British shows over here? This whole thing about, well, the Brits, get them to do your commercials, because it'll instantly, Americans think any British accent is obviously intelligent and smart and honest. That wasn't quite as spread then as now. Thank you. Thank you, live via satellite. The minute things found ways to go global, all of this started to change, now that I reflect on it a little bit. So right about the time of Star Trek was right about the time that thaw started to happen. But it was still slow-mo. Yes, William. 2 more days until the anniversary of the motion picture. Not an even day. 79 to 23, it's a 4, right? 89, 99, 09, 19. It's the 44th. Yeah, 44th. Kills me that at the end of this decade will be 50 years since the motion picture was out. Wow. Oh. Did other 20th century sports make it post-World War III or just baseball? Oh no, Zahir. They played football on Enterprise, water polo, but Cisco was captain of the Academy wrestling team, and Janeway played tennis. Do you mean team sports or do you mean individual sports too? No, I know they're still playing football in the 22nd century. What else is there? Basketball. Have we seen basketball references in Star Trek? You know, it's only five people to a team. That's a good. Surely somewhere across the miles we've got a basketball reference in Trek. Maybe somebody has one. But yes, more than baseball survived past World War III because the people need it. Let's see. Zaire. In college, there was a student taught class on Star Trek and you didn't take it. What were you thinking? You were hoping for a real professor to teach it, not just some TA or GA? Good advice, Comedy 4. Tell all your friends watch Prodigy. Yes. Well, yeah, I hope they don't rush the transition to series. I was just talking about shooting the movie to getting it posted. I'm just talking about the movie's turnover, much less any transition decision and then transition into a series. Well, thank you, Duralta. You are in the increasing mob. I just had this got to see Aaron Walke. If you saw some of my Instagrams, went to the Greatest Generations live show in LA and saw Aaron there, who's also a big fan of theirs, of Adam and Benjamin. Well, see, this is what I think, Comedy. I think so too. I think Netflix, why would they compete against the eyeballs? Why not put it in the empty time slot? Unless there's some kind of other overwhelming in-house need from Netflix that they have to slot it at a certain time. It seems like it would be really tone deaf, blinders on, to not pay attention to that. There we go. About 6 months between seasons of shows, and that's without factors of production going on, right? So then we'll see if they don't bring it out, and maybe they wait until that June-July gap. That would be 6 months. That would also be kind of most of the gap between, presumably, Discovery and Strange New. That could be too. That could be a thing too. I think this is an overseas weird turf war thing you're saying, Analysis. Or is it? A Ford dealership refusing to sell a Mustang. It's made by Ford, but it's not going to be sailed by Ford. How stupid that sounds. Not sure I understand what you're getting at. You mean servicing it after the sale? I don't know. Sure. Sure. Buy physical media for season 2 of Prodigy. Absolutely. Are you being sarcastic here, Sean? Can't wait for Section 31 and SFA. People keep asking for these shows and want nothing else. Are you being a little sarcastic there? Little sarcastic? Let's see. Hey, everybody. Analysis, is it just you, or is the streaming services like Tubi and Pluto and the other quote-unquote free services seem to be more profitable because of the ads? Well, they're safer. They're sure not going to go in the hole, probably, especially as long as they just keep buying up. Those streaming services are the equivalent of, in America anyway, old local stations showing reruns. Like, fill it up with old sitcoms during the day. Before before the game shows and before the daytime talk shows took over, local stations, that's how a lot of people grew up, that's how I know Donna Reed and Father Knows Best when I was a kid, was watching 10-year-old, TV sitcoms. That's how a lot of people after school knew Star Trek, but, also Flipper and Gilligan's Island and all those, Brady Bunch, all those things for years and years. So those, the Tubies and the Plutos and all of that, that run commercials that are annoying, but people are watching them, but they don't need a lot of overhead and investment, and probably a lot of the shows they're watching, if it's an O&O, if it's the, which one is Paramount's? Paramount is Paramount Tubi or Pluto? God, I think it's Tubi. If Paramount's just rerunning their thing there for the people who aren't subscribing to the app, but it's a win-win. You're just recycling your content. You're just repurposing your content because now it's evergreen. Oh, it was so good going through all the business entrepreneur stuff I did. Well, there you go, Mona. We're just so spoiled now, aren't we? I want my MTV. Not anymore. Not anymore. You watch them until they come back to Earth. Why did you stop watching, Doralta? I know. You hope Pluto is not the ultimate answer for linear and streaming. Right. Well, this is the thing. You've got, again, the Chinese companies that feel like they're totally removed from any reach of our courts. How many artists do you know? I know some who have had their artwork completely ripped off and sold. But the internet, the globalization of the web lets us see it the minute it's up there. It's easier to know it's happening than it is to do something about it. And for the smaller a maker you are, they think no one's going to spend the money and the resources to come after you, whether it's courts or whatever. Maybe Paramount will publish Trek books themselves. Well, they'd have to get into the big, or maybe they give the license to Cross Cult, which is publishing the German Trek books. Well, does the German vendor have the resources and the know-how and the contacts to sell books in America? That may not be as quickly a solution as you thought. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you among everybody turning up. Thank you for Patreoning. Hey, Mina. Them's fighting words. Look out there. Football, smutball. You want your MTV. You want your legacy. I want my legacy. Oh no, did I say Federation? Okay. Para Arpool seems to be trying to find a way to rebound their tanking stocks, sell off the assets and cut shows. I wonder if they will give a green light to any new Trek till 2025. Well, that's the thing. There won't, something right now that's not already in the pipeline isn't even going to get on screen until 2025. You won't see Starfleet Academy until 2025. You may not see the Section 31 movie and even debate or even look at numbers to see if they want to turn it into a series after that. Much less. That's the proof in the pudding right now for legacy fans and the legacy, everybody with the creative team. People got to get on with their lives. People have to, as we found with the strike was bad enough, but this will be even more. That the way the machinery is set up now and the waiting game, no one's going to get bumped to the side the way Section 31 did originally when the Anson Mount Revolution came along and the Pike explosion happened. It was like, oh, well, let's go with this. Well, things were simpler in 2018 in the world at large, much less in the streaming world, in the world of CBS All Access. Didn't have 5 more layers of corporate holding on top of it the way it does now, being back in Paramount Global. So, yeah. It could be. It could be that nothing happens until things shake down even by 2025 or 2026 as far as a new title. I can say the F word as long as Disney doesn't buy Trek. I don't know. Have you checked out some of the Disney? Hey, Don, good to see you. Yay. Oh, you binged season 1 of the TVMA rated Obliterated from the creators of Cobra Kai. And yes. Oh, what was that guy's name? Frank? The guy that was with Jack Benny? Well, what do you think I am in this cage? A canary? Yes. That guy. Frank something. Para has been a 12-month disappointment. You talking about the stock price or what? Well, there is this, Christoph, but that's dangerous because then you've got people who didn't originate the show taking a risk on it without a track record. Excuse me, guys. Well, there's that. That was such a PR. I don't know. Was it a PR nightmare? Did they really suffer financial consequences from it? I think it weakened them going into the strike because they were seen as, not up to their word. Haven't seen much on Apple TV that you wanted to watch other than Foundation. Oh, you didn't like For All Mankind? I've watched the first 2 seasons. I need to get in and watch the rest. A lot of Trek people working on For All Mankind. Gonna revive the director's edition, whether it's on the 4K or on Paramount Plus. Yeah, watch the latest. I told someone again the other day that all the things we said about the motion, even the motion sickness, the motionless picture, all of that stuff it's a moot point. They've fixed it. If that was Robert Wise's original vision, it ain't bad. It's just sad that it's taken 40 plus years of abuse. I mean, for good reason, but not the intention. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Carl. You just dropped Peacock because of a lack of shows or what's new? What is there? Well, it's always helpful to have it, even if you don't watch it. What? Kind of true. We're watching the phone industry breakup consolidation all over again in streaming. Yeah. But if you go back again, why did Paramount buy Desilu? It wasn't just, I think I'll buy Desilu. It was all the movie studios stopped fighting TV and decided to join it. And if you're looking for an easy answer, gentlemen, there it sits right next door to you physically, which was a great, it saved a ton of money. Physical assets going back and forth, movie assets used in TV shows. Mission Impossible, much less Star Trek in the beginning. Yeah. They keep saying next year, stockholders. The guys on the podcast I was talking about just said that it was down to 14, but that's a little bit of a rebound. It was like less and it's come back. It's inching up. Let's see. The Blueback folks, the Peacock folks. A community. There's going to be a community movie. Okay, gang. Buy something special with your $5. Oh, did you if you super chatted me Andrew, I didn't see it. If that's what you mean, or you mean from another time. But I will. If it all pans out, I will. I promise you. Uh, oh, too bad. Halo 2 on Paramount Plus was bad. Sorry. A lot of people have said Prodigy is their number one current. A couple of people said it's their favorite overall, which is amazing. You're so remembering right where you are, Don Don. You're about to continue your recreation of leaving Dry Dock. Okay. Wait, what? Am I missing something here? Brought to you by Folgers Crystals and viewers like you. Am I missing something? Super back scrolling super needle. Okay. Oh, okay, Dave. Let's see. Oh, Thirst Contact. No competing Trek Yards live tonight, so I'm all yours. Well, yay. Is Trek Yards live on Tuesdays? You know, when I started this in 2017, I was all alone in the landscape. Hey, you're okay, Thirst. I can't see your tiny avatar. Who are you? If Thirst is indeed not your real name. Oh, Christoph. Okay. Well, then I'm telling people wrong. Right now, currently, Facebook nor YouTube shows up in the Twitch chat. So come on over to YouTube. Okay, Diana, I'm so sorry. If the bouncers are giving you problems, Di, just let me know, okay? We'll take care of that toot sweet. Toot sweet. Yes. Yes, Dawn, let's hope that. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, yeah. Yes. And Close Encounters, right? You thought the Spock helmet was unfortunately no. Now, I made fun of it at the time. I still feel queasy that it's gotten to be celebrated, and I really don't know if I like Mike McMahon making it canon on Lower Decks. But it is what it could have been a canon fakey joke toy, not real Starfleet equipment. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, Zahir. You love how I say Casey Shafsky, but why do I say it that way? Because A, I know Casey, but B, because he gives a little more, he Patreons just a little higher than $10. So I didn't break it out as a separate line, but I put him at the end, and that's his bonus treatment for putting in a little extra on his level. In fact, I think he stopped, but I can't stop doing it. So now it's a thing. Now it's a tradition. It's like Dr. Dave's science report when we opened the America Side Ask Dr. Trek Roundtable in Portal. It's a tradition now. Oh, despite your name, you cover more than just Power Rangers, Don Don. The other stars. Okay. Well, good. Good to know. Oh boy, what I got you guys to go nostalgic relaxicons. Yeah, relaxicons were so much fun. Almost relaxing, you might say, Justin, right? Like intentionally no schedules, just people oozing in and out of rooms, small deal. Nobody goes broke because there's no overhead, right? Well, analysis. Don't let the AI thing determine whether you want to go into acting. I mean, it should be a passion. It should be a calculation. And the world is going to keep dealing with AI, but that shouldn't stop. AI shouldn't stop whether if it's legit and you feel it and you're ready to commit the sacrifice and the time and the emotional abuse. And I don't mean me too. I mean just the reject. It's part of the process. You've got to put your headspace in a place where you look at not getting gigs and jobs and roles, not as personal rejection, but it's just part of the process. You just weren't what they needed at the time. And eventually you have to put yourself in rooms where you are exactly what they need. And you have to get to that place. Because it's brutal to take no's that often. Watch the opening of La La Land, the musical. Comedy 4, how far back do you go? Smoffs, right? How about Fiawaj? Fiajad? Fandom is just a goddamn hobby? Theowall. Theowall is fandom is a way of life. Yep. Christoph. Yes, this is good to know, Christoph. Sean, have I ever watched Red Dwarf? Yes. I tried to watch Red Dwarf a couple of times, A, to see what a holographic character before the Doctor looked like, because that's what people said. And B, I wanted to see what Danny John Jules looked like when he was younger, before Death in Paradise. I know that. Now I sound like the backwards. What? Howie Long played football before he did the Radio Shack commercials? Or the battery commercials, whatever it was. But not religiously and not enough to know everything. Oh, time tunnel. Well, there is that, except that they were trapped, 2 humans, equal rank, stuck in time traveling beyond their whatever, and it really stuck to specific moments in history, not just it didn't go alien. Of course, we only saw the one season, but time tunnel never would have gone to alien worlds. I say that, then here comes Irwin Allen's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, winds up bringing in aliens by the time it's over. Okay, like I said, I'm on thin ice here without instantly Googling and Wikifying, but could be. Yeah, Benny Hill, but Benny Hill was part of the post-Python explosion. Once Monty Python kind of pioneered that, then they were running around looking for all other kinds of British humor to bring to the States because it was cheap and it was done. But there was still an arrogance on the commercial networks that I think PBS knocked down because PBS had Masterpiece Theater on the drama side. So they were used to thinking their audiences were used to the British way of doing things, the British sense of drama, and the British sense of comedy. And I think the arrogance of commercial networks with big money involved just meant that they thought that there wasn't enough of an audience but eventually that got knocked down thanks to some of the blockbusters that PBS brought over, leading with Masterpiece Theater. But Python didn't hurt. Any news on Destination Trek in Bonn? Not in my lap, but then I haven't been looking for it. So I'll keep my ears open, Thirst, or Christoph. Christoph may have an answer for you. Now that I see that was for him, not me. We grew up watching the grown-up stuff on Benny Hill, not really knowing what to do about it. Well, if it was a family memory, then yay. Do they play basketball on Enterprise? They play football on the Boomer ship on Horizon. Okay, everybody's saying it. Then yay. Did they? Was it like in the gym on the Enterprise? There's one scene where they're playing, and okay, guys, okay, yay. This is why This is why. Was it more than one scene in one episode? They only got one. Football was originally going to be archer sport, and then they realized how hard it would be to stage. So it gets that one mention. I can just see the slow motion football from one end of the cargo bay to the other. And that's why what was easy to do. I know it's water and pool, and it only had to be on video. So, okay, that can be archer sport. Okay. Okay, well, there's your answer, and there you go. We'll see. We'll see if it materializes. The last I heard, it was, oh, yes, 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 but proof's in the pudding, right? Japanese Godzilla and Star Trek has a Honda, the director of the 54 original. Roddenberry's cinema philosophy and worldview. Yeah. Well, so was a Forbidden Planet. Was a peaceful organization of planets with the checking out things. Oh yeah, Janeway played tennis as a young girl. Yes, very much so. Okay, everybody's I have a memory of it now. Thank you everybody for setting me straight, but I didn't come into this claiming all knowing, all seeing. That's right, Bashir played tennis as well. Yes, and Guinan brought a tennis. Was it tennis or was it one of the smaller racket sports? Anyway. Oh, huge spectator sports. You mean like Parisi Squares? I'm sure the Cal beat Stanford wasn't that in a water polo context? Yeah. Okay, real question, Justin. If Prodigy is airing on Netflix, why would it affect the schedules of Strange New Worlds and Look? Well, it wouldn't affect them. It wouldn't affect the scheduling, but it would affect the audience attention span. That's what I'm talking about. Why would they fight upstream? Why would they go against the grain and fight for attention when the other new shows are dropping and getting all the new show first-time attention? Even though they're not having to think about it, it seems to me they would have more of the Trek world scope to themselves if they avoided overlapping. That's all I'm saying. But maybe they don't care, or maybe there are factors that are bigger in-house that we don't know about. That's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, Strange New is filming. Oh, you're saying Strange New is filming right now? Yeah, that's right. I was being super cautious, but then I did know that they'd just been a little on the less public side talking about it. Hello, Maria. Good to see you again. Free streaming services are producing new shows of their own. Are they sitcoms? This vaguely rings a bell. No one's doing any high-end 1-hour action or dramas, though, are they? There we go. Thank you. I thought it was. Oh, that's right. I just because Pluto was the fill-in when Paramount Plus yanked the blanket on Discovery's season 3 debut. Season 4. Yes, thank you, everybody. Oh, Amazon owns Freevee. Okay, I'm not sure that was on my radar. Okay. You think you might be related to Barbara Alfonso that worked for ILM's model shop on First Contact. Cool. I miss my MTV. Yeah. Oh my God, Christoph, it's that bad? I don't have it that bad here. Maybe this is a foreign programming thing, a EU interference, something they had to do special for the EU throws off the otherwise stable app. I do not know. I don't know. Hi, Sydney. It's good to hear from you. We miss you over in the portal, but it's good to see you in there. Oh, okay. Dave is doing a throwback to Life Support Live's drinking game. There we go. That's clever, JR. This must be a thing, right? Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The individual, if they take the basic app and then have to adapt it in different markets. Uh, Para is the stock name. Yeah, I learned to say Para back when Dixie Owen, in Interstat she called it Dixie's Clippings. And I'm a kid in Oklahoma, and you're reading these high-end fans' letters back and forth. And then part of the end of Interstat was Dixie Owen going through the trades, pre-internet kids, going through the trades and any blurb that related to a Trek or a Trek-related person. Guest stars, former directors, producers, writers, anything, especially though Trek news. And she would just do a blurb, kind of an Army Archer kind of run-on thing from the trades. It was called Dixie's Clippings. And that's how I kept that. But that's my first case of Hollywood speak, ankles and biz and yeah. And all the short names for things, para this and para that. Cool. How was the coverage, Maria, since you were in Brazil? Did this get a lot of mainstream coverage, or was it still pretty isolated? Thank you, guys. It's Frank Nelson. Yes. There's a one of the versions of Jack Goes to the Train Station that I have on old time radio that I just always, pardon me, are you the ticket clerk? What do you think I am in this cage? A canary? Yeah, good stuff, Maynard, good stuff. Thank you, guys. See, all you have to do is ask. Why stress out if I can't remember something off the top of my head? But Frank, yes. Just watched a Jack Benny retro special. Oh, what are you saying here? What are you saying, Sean? Pay $30 a month, all access on one account. They split the revenue based on the watch time. Ooh, metrics. They have to share. They have to share secrets. They have to share tech. Never saw For All Mankind. No subscription now. Yeah, well, I don't know why it wouldn't be. I don't mean to be snarky, Don, but it's like, why would you watch something aside to remember historically, document? And Gulf and Western bought both Paramount and Desilu. That's true. Well, yeah, Gulf and Western was already the home company of Paramount. Well, see, but there was no CBS Studios until the divorce. So if you watch third season original series, just like the Brady Bunch, etc., it's a Odd Couple. It's the Paramount TV local. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 da. No, that's Desilu. Sorry. But look, I dragged you guys all into the business end of things today. How about that? Where were we here? Okay. Word of warning. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. If you're getting friend requests from Christina Chong, it's probably a scammer. Have you heard her music, seen her videos from her album? Wow. Trek Yards is a movable feast with their scheduling. Oh, well. Well, you know what? I say 1 p.m. Pacific, and you know how that goes sometimes. So at least we're nailed down to the day. Wait, what? Not that you haven't been that disappointed since Nemesis premiered. Woo, that was something. Then. Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Okay. Well, Di, yes, AI is just another tool. It's only as good as the human using it. And that's what scares me. That's like saying the atom bomb is just another tool. It's only as good as the human using it. True. Yeah. Or maybe it's, like atomic theory is only another tool or whatever. Oh, you go back to the New York Trek cons. We need to talk sometime. My gosh. The original Trek cons need a documentary so bad. And there are many people around who were still there. Okay. Oh, really, Carl? Sir Patrick loves Red Dwarf. All righty then. Okay. Hey, Chuck A, TNG fanatic. Welcome over. Yeah, hey, Melanie. Yeah, Sliders, Alternate Earths, where Tracy Torme went to work after Trek. Yeah, we have a Brit box for Death in Paradise and for everything else. Oh, my God. There's a meme going around about that. What's the detective that you want to solve your murder or something? Foyle from Foyle's War. Yeah. They have the thing. Oh. Hey, but yes. The Goodies, then Doctor Who on OET. Well, the Goodies was the fill-in for Python when it ran out. Bad. I'm sorry. They were silly and goofy, but it was not Python. I get so mad. I was mad when they tried to sell Space Needle 1999 as a replacement for Star Trek. I got mad when they tried to market the Goodies as the complete equal replacement for Python. No, it wasn't. Now, let's not fall into stereotypes, JR. Yeah. But, well, Cisco was all about the baseball. Wrestling never came up except for that one random wild reference. It's Beverly is Quincy. Suspicions? I think it's Suspicions. All right, are we coming down to the end here? Oh, no, a little more here. It's true. Guinan was a great fencer, right? First contact was 27 last week. Yeah, and 2 years since we did that virtual panel coming out of the pandemic. Wait, what happened to my... Okay, gang. Guess what? I have what's going on here? Can I have it back, please? Oh, there we go. My mouse just lost connection and came back. Wait, what? Well, if you call the MTV jingle singing, okay. I need to watch the 60th anniversary specials. This is what I'm saying, Sean. The EU's tighter, more restrictive restrictions on user privacy might foul them up in knots. Go, what you're all bailing off. Well, hi, Rose. I'll always say hello to you. Thank you for joining in, as always. Hey, Maria. Oh, that's right. You work at a, yes, full-time exclusive interview with Cinequa and in collaboration with Trek Movie. They also published a good coverage made by us Trek Brasileiros by Gustavo Gabi, our journalist. It was excellent. Awesome. I just hope things are a little easier going in Brazil these days. The original CBS Studios as well. The original Paramount Network TV was among the predecessors of, yeah. This is CBS. Oh, da da dum da da dum. That's CBS Radio. Is that? That's not what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what she's up with that. Is she trying to get into the notorious end of marketing there? I don't know. Sir Pat playing the Red Dwarf's AI. The ship's AI would be a better retirement gig compared to yet another TNG movie. Oh, now you say that like you're dreading it. Yet another TNG movie. I don't know. Legacy, instead of being a huge 10-episode season, could be a series of 2-hour movies, right? Continue the adventures of Seven and Raffi and the kids. Ah, there you go. Foyle's War was great. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Anne Marie was a big fan. Wow. I was so mad. That's the first time in a long time I was so disappointed for the series to end, even though leaving the war behind was not near as cool as being in the war years. The Cold War just isn't quite as romantic. Everybody's a mean bastard. Everybody's dark and everybody has blood on their hands. No good guys in a world-spanning war. Was 95 to 05 the golden age of sci-fi TV? Voyager, Enterprise, Stargate, Andromeda, Farsk all at the same time. Oh, well, you're leaving out TNG, but I guess that's because you're saying TNG is what sparked this. And you know what? I didn't watch. I tried to watch Farscape once or twice, didn't get into it. Tried to watch Andromeda once or twice, couldn't get into it. Part of this was I was professionally working full-time 24/7 on Trek, and it was hard to find the brain power, much less not be confused or not be watered down. You wouldn't be the first one to try to do a really bad pun. By the way, everybody, go over and watch. If you haven't watched it, go check out the Crusher Convo podcast, right, with Jesse and Michelle. They did their season ender, and I was the finale guest. And it was a good discussion. I got to talk about a lot of non-specific things. Maybe I froze. That's when my mouse disconnected, was then. We will see. Did I come back? Did it come back? I hope so. I guess so. Oh, excuse me, guys. This is not an editorial comment at all. Very true. Very true. But I wonder if that's when my mouse lost connection and came back for some strange reason. Yes, I actually watched Blake 7 back in the day when it seemed to be the next big hot thing. Was that during the Doctor Who gap? No. It was in the 80s, wasn't it? Yeah. I watched a few of the Blake 7s because I was with some people who were fans, and I was actually at a con with a Blake 7 actor, and I could not tell you who it was now. Maybe it was a Blake 7 writer producer. I didn't mean to steal your thing, JR, but yeah. In the current climate, maybe that's a faster way to get it out. Then you could always go to series after that. There you go. The ladies will love you, Dave. I'd be curious to hear what you think too. Hopefully with much better trajectory than the X-Files to film. You mean theatrical or the TV ones? Okay. I agree, JR. It's the end of the chat as we know it. Hey, everybody, that's it for another Tuesday. Yay, that was an hour and a half. Look, I want to thank everybody for joining us again. And just a big reminder, if you've got Trek folks on your gift list, and who here wouldn't, if you've got somebody big on your list, maybe you think about getting them the 6-month gift box. If you do it now, you actually get, do you see there, the little gift box with the red ribbon? It's our signature little put it under the tree bit. You can actually physically give somebody something to open on Christmas Day, and there's stuff inside. Plus, the 6-month gift keeps on giving. That's cool, too. And you can go for a full year if you want to. That's up now at LarryNemecek.com. You can follow the link, okay? Otherwise, once again, thanks so much to all of our Patreons here, our live wires, and our TTLers. Yay. You can jump into, we just reset the new month. It's a $5 and a $10 level. Thanks so much for everybody for getting that. I need to get the new round of guest films out to everybody. Thanks again for everybody who's doing that. Yay. And yes, if you're going to be in LA, or maybe think about coming and build your trip around it. Who knows? Maybe business is bringing you to LA. It's a perfect time to try a Trekland trek. You pick out, with my help, 4 places around town. There's over 50. There's the bigs, there's the littles, there's the famous, there's the infamies. And I will get you there. Concierge you, handle your props, your costume. We'll have a quick lunch in midday. 6 hours getting around town without the worry of traffic and hours and details. Sound good? Check it out, treklandtreks.com, whenever you're ready to be in LA, okay? And, of course, the Trek Files is up this week with Aaron Harvey. We're talking about pitches for the animated series that were considered but not bought. We have a hoot with that one. Check that out, too, at the Trek Files on Facebook or wherever you catch your podcast. But the documents of the week, of course, are at our Facebook page. Don't forget. And don't forget that I'm still hanging out on Twitter, X, Larry Nemecek. I've got some other accounts, but I'm not actively there yet. I'm waiting for a sign of which way to migrate. Meanwhile, please like and subscribe here if you haven't already on YouTube or wherever you're watching right now. And Instagram, Larry Nemecek's Trekland. Portal47.net. Check it out if you're curious. It's a mini-con all year long, no matter where your center seat is in the world. And a lot of our global folks have been on with us today, too. So that's it for another Tuesday. Be watching. I may do some lives in the next couple of weeks. Hey, if you are in Los Angeles, I'm going to be posting about this. There are 2 art events this Saturday. If you're passing through SoCal, there is an art opening, including Doug Drexler. And you remember the artist who did the original series episode posters, kind of kicked off that whole niche? Okay. Juan Carlos, about 10 years ago, during the fallow times. And several other artists have a sci-fi exhibit in downtown LA. And in Burbank, Saturday also is an opening. I've got 2 to go to, including offbeat artists doing rock subjects. But that includes, yes, Dan Curry, who's an incredible artist as well as being martial artist guru and, of course, visual effects pioneer for Star Trek. Anyway, that's happening Saturday. And yeah, we're heading into the holiday season. So if you're also in LA, I'll say this on the side. I'm still a docent at Will Rogers State Historic Park. And what will it be? The 17th. If you're in LA for holiday, well, you should set up a Trekland Treks. But if you're in LA, Greater Los Angeles, SoCal for the time, and get yourself to West LA, I'm doing my tours again. Next Sunday is the 17th. The next Sunday I'll be touring at the 10, 11, and noon times. So check that out. I'm there 2 Sundays a month as we get on into the new year. Just saying. My other passion. Guys, gals, peeps, it's been a pleasure to be with you again on another Tuesday. Give us a shout out. Give us a check, okay? Look at things. And meanwhile, as you go about your business and it gets crazy out there, please, please, please stay healthy, do all the things. Stay woke, check your sources, and basically, Trek well, everybody.